Hey, I'm Jared. If you're watching this, the Probability Cup is already underway, and you're probably wondering whether it's too late to make a real run at the leaderboard. Short answer is no. The matches still ahead carry more than enough points to climb fast, especially the knockout rounds, which are worth double, and the final, which is worth triple. The fastest way to capture those points is with a bot. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps. Create a bot on SportsPredict, hook it up to Claude through something called MCP, place your first predictions, and keep improving it. By the end of this video, if you follow along, you will have a working bot on the leaderboard. Let's go. First, you need two things open: your SportsPredict account and Claude Desktop, which is a free app from Anthropic that runs on Mac or Windows. If you do not have Claude Desktop, pause this video, go to claude.ai/download, install it, and come back. It takes about a minute. Quick aside for the technical viewers. I personally use Claude Code, which is the terminal version. The config we will set up works there too. Same JSON snippet, slightly different file path. Everything in this video applies in either. Step 1 is generating your bot inside the SportsPredict app. Navigate to Profile and History. You will see a tab called My Bots. Click it. This is where you manage your bots. You can have up to 2 active at a time, so don't worry, we are not burning your only slot on a demo. Next, click Generate New Bot. Pick any name. I will call this one Demo Bot. It does not have to be clever. You can edit it later. And here we go. This is the important screen. This long string starting with SP_live is your API key. It is how Claude is going to authenticate as your bot. 2 critical things. First of all, this is the only time SportsPredict will ever show you this key. Once you close this screen, it is gone. Copy it now and paste it somewhere safe. A password manager, a notes file, anything that you will find later. Secondly, there's no recovery. If you lose the key, that bot is locked out for good. Treat the key like a password. I'm copying it now. We will paste it into Claude Desktop in just a few seconds. Now 60 seconds on what MCP is, because it is the concept that makes this whole thing work. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Do not worry about the words. The idea. By default, Claude can read and write text. That is it. MCP is a way to give Claude tools, things it can actually do in the real world. SportsPredict ships an MCP server. Once you tell Claude about it, Claude gains the ability to list events, list lobbies, join a lobby, list matches, list markets, submit predictions, update them, and read back results. So the workflow becomes, you talk to Claude in plain English. For example, list the upcoming Probability Cup matches and submit predictions on each one. And Claude actually does it, using the tools that we have exposed. The setup is a single config file. We will do that next. Now open Claude Desktop. Go to the bottom to Settings, then Developer, then Edit Config. That will open a file called Claude Desktop config.json in your default text editor. Yours may be empty or might already have other MCP servers in it. Either way, we are going to add one entry for SportsPredict. Here's exactly what to paste inside MCP servers. On the same line as preferences, and make sure to add that comma as well. I will put the snippet in the video description so that you can copy and paste, but it is also available on the SportsPredict app under the Quick Setup Guide. What is happening here quickly? Claude Desktop talks to a small helper program called MCP Remote that runs locally on your machine. MCP Remote then talk to the SportsPredict server in the cloud. You do not have to install MCP Remote ahead of time. MPXY will download it automatically the first time Claude Desktop starts it up. The only thing you need to change in this block is the line that says auth. After the word bearer and a space, paste the API key that you copied from SportsPredict. So I will do that now. And make sure that there are no extra quotes and no extra spaces. Finally, save the file, and this is the part that everyone forgets. Fully quit Claude Desktop and reopen it. Not just close the window. Command+Q on Mac, full quit on Windows. MCP servers only load on app startup. Now, reopen Claude Desktop. In a fresh chat, look at the bottom of the message input area. There's a little plus icon. Click it. Then go to connectors. You should see SportsPredict in the list of available connectors. If it is there, you are in business. If it does not appear, 4 things to check. Did you save the file? Did you fully quit and restart Claude? Is the API key pasted correctly? And did you give it the full 10 to 15 seconds for MPX to download the helper on first launch? 90% of the time, it's one of those 4. Now, we will actually talk to your bot. The very first thing it needs to do is find the probability cup. Find the lobby, join if it is not already in, and pull the list of upcoming matches. We will do all of that in one prompt. Here is our first prompt. Using the SportsPredict tools, do the following in order. List events and find the probability cup. List lobbies for that event. If I'm not already joined to the lobby, join it. And 4, list the upcoming matches with their kickoff times and how many open markets each one has. Do not submit any predictions yet. You can allow Claude to use the tools necessary, and it will go through that process. As you can see, it is loading the available tools. First, it listed the events to find the probability cup. It found that cup. Then it needed to find the lobbies in that event. Found our SportsPredict lobby, which is of course public. Joined that lobby. Next up, it is listing the upcoming matches in our probability cup event. And soon, here you will see that the bot was able to find the matches that your bot can predict on. Each one has somewhere around 10 markets. Yes or no questions about things that will happen in the match. We are going to predict on one specific match next. One important note about what you are seeing. Notice that there is no crowd average probability shown for any of the specific markets. SportsPredict deliberately hides what other people are predicting until the market closes. Your bot is forming its estimate in the dark. You cannot anchor it to a public price. This makes the next sections matter more than they would in a normal prediction market. Now for our next prompt. We are going to submit our first predictions. We're going to do something deliberately dumb first, and then we will improve it. This is intentional. I will explain why. So we are telling Claude to pick the next match from the list, the one that kicks off soonest. List its markets using list markets with that match's ID. Then use submit predictions batch to submit a probability of 50 on every market in that match. 50 means coin flip, no information. Of course, allow the tool calls as I said before, and you will see that your bot has just made its first set of real predictions in a real upcoming match. One important format note. Notice that we passed the probability as 50, not 0.5. SportsPredict takes integers from 1 to 99. 1 means almost certainly no, 99 means almost certainly yes. 50 means coin flip. 0 and 100 are rejected.
Now, why would we submit 50 on everything? Because a 50 basically means I have no information. It is the dumbest possible prediction. And the Breer score that 50s will earn over time is a baseline, and you can measure everything else against it. If a fancy version of your bot cannot beat the coin flip baseline after 100 predictions, your fancy version is not actually adding any information. This is the most skipped step in bot building. People want to go straight to the smart version. Don't. Ship the dumb one first, and then improve. Now, the actual work. Let's submit predictions that have a chance of actually beating the crowd. Here's the prompt I actually use as a starting point. Notice a few things about this prompt. 1, I'm asking Claude to state public information first, before landing on a number. That forces it to ground its reasoning rather than just guessing. Secondly, I am capping confidence between 5 and 95. This is critical. Breer scoring punishes overconfidence brutally. A wrong 95, meaning you predicted 95% yes and the answer turned out to be no, costs you about 0.90 Breer. A wrong 65 costs you about 0.42. So 3 wrong 65s combined, about 1.25, cost you barely more than 1 wrong 95. Basically, don't push to extremes unless you have real grounded evidence. Stay between 5 and 95 as a default. Thirdly, I'm asking for reasoning per market and asking it to wait for my review before submitting. Always do this for your first dozen predictions. Of course, it's slower, but you will catch obvious mistakes and you will learn what the model is genuinely good at versus where it's guessing. Now, read exactly what Claude gave you. For each market, is the reasoning real or is it fabricated? If it sounds confident but cites information you cannot verify, push back. Type something like, for market X, you said the team has a key injury. What is your source? If it cannot give a real source, tell it to lower the confidence back towards 50. Once you are happy with the picks, you can tell it to submit. This is easy. For example, looks good. Submit those predictions now. Via submit predictions batch. And that is it. Your bot will make real reasoned predictions on a real upcoming match. They will be scored after the match settles. You can see Claude is thinking through, submitting all 10 with the reviewed probabilities, using that tool that we named before, submit predictions batch, and eventually it will list all 10 markets with the final predictions that were made. Now this is the muscle you want to build. After some of your markets have settled, looking at what your bot predicted versus what actually happened and using that to improve. Come back to Claude tomorrow or whenever some of your predictions have settled and run this prompt. Using the SportsPredict tools, call list results to show me my bot's settled predictions on whatever match you choose. For each one, show the question, the probability I submitted, and the Breer score I earned. Then summarize. Which markets did I do well on, which did I do badly on, and what patterns do you see? This is your daily post-mortem. The patterns you see here are your rulebook. And here's the thing. Even though you can't see the crowd average before a market closes, SportsPredict scores you against it afterwards. Your relative Breer points is the difference between the crowd's Breer and your Breer. Positive RBP means you beat the crowd on that market. Negative means you lost ground. Climbing the leaderboard is just beating the crowd, on average, over many markets. There are 3 patterns that I focus on. First of all, overconfidence on heavy markets, or heavy favorites. A team looks dominant, the bot says 90, and the favorite draws or loses. That single market can wipe out the gains from 10 correctly priced underdogs. Secondly, underestimating low probability events. When you think something is unlikely, resist the urge to round down to 5. There is a real difference between I think there is a 20% chance and I think there is a 5% chance. And Breer punishes the difference brutally if the unlikely thing happens. Lastly, and mostly importantly, especially if you are joining late, knockout matches matter more. Group stage is 1x, knockouts are 2x, the final is 3x. A great knockout prediction is worth twice as much as a great group stage prediction. So spend more thought there. You don't have to take these rules from me. They will show up in your postmortems, however, if you do this every day. The actual edge is disciplined iteration, not cleverness. As you can see, the bot spit out all of our submissions, our Breer scores, how the market's actually resolved, as well as reads on how our predictions were. We can see our average Breer, as well as what we performed well on and what we performed poorly on, as well as some potential patterns for the future. One last thing before we close. The platform lets you have 2 active bots. You might as well use both. You could create one bot that's conservative and one bot that's aggressive. Then, for any market where the 2 bots disagree sharply, say one says 35 and the other says 75, you found something interesting. Either the aggressive bot is seeing something irreal or it's hallucinating. Watching that disagreement is one of the fastest ways to learn what your bot is actually good at. And one final piece of advice. Calibration beats boldness almost every time. A bot that consistently predicts 60 when the right answer is 60 will dominate a bot that predicts 90 when the right answer is 60, even if both bots pick the same winner. Most of the points in this platform are lost to overconfidence, not bad picks. Stay calibrated, stay between 5 and 95, and you will climb. That is your starter kit. Generate your bot, hook it up to Claude Desktop, ship the coin flip baseline today, run thoughtful predictions on the next match, post-mortem after settle, and keep iterating. You can be on the leaderboard immediately, and the knockouts ahead are worth double points. Good luck, and if you build something interesting, we would love to hear about it. Thank you.